Welcome back to another edition of Tailgate Talk here at sunjournal.com, breaking down Class C's Week 8. Callie Oaks, Randy Whitehouse, Justin Pelletier. Tell you what, Week 8, we're here.
We're down to the end, and in Western Class C, we have 11 teams fighting for 8 playoff spots.
That's unbelievable. Randy, we'll start with you over here. Madison at Deerigal, I'll throw you that one first. Deerigal, one of those teams, should win, and will definitely bolster its position by doing so.
Well, they'll win. Bolstering their position against a one-win team, a little bit.
Well, as far as standings, though, are concerned,
right.
I mean,
it's about 5 points in the Crabtree
right.
standings.
So helps, but not a big help. Not as big a help as some of the other teams are going to get. But they need it, obviously. Last week, a frustrating effort for them. They just really couldn't get the offense going. They got Brian Blackman back, which helped the passing game. But they lost Nelson Pepin, which hurt their blocking and their defense a little bit. So it's kind of one step forward and one step back for them. I think right now they're playing about as well as they can, and I don't think Madison presents too much of a problem. So you can chalk that one up.
I don't want to make too much light of it because geographically speaking, it's technically a rivalry, I suppose. But Maranacook and Oak Hill, not necessarily the rivalry implications, but the standings implications are huge here.
Well, I think there's certainly a passion when these two schools play each other. Maranacook got the win last year to get into the playoffs, and it kind of hurt Oak Hill to put them in a different bracket too. So it's a game that both teams needed last year, and it's every bit as important this year. And certainly with Saturday afternoon at home, Oak Hill would hope to have a little bit of an advantage there, but Maranacook's been the team that's been playing a little more consistently well the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think it's kind of a toss-up game. I wouldn't want to, I'm kind of scared. I'm still up in the air about who I'm going to predict.
Well, both teams got a huge lift last week. Maranacook with Luke Emery's performance, a workhorse performance last week with 34 carries, basically on a bad leg. Be interested to see how effective he is this week. And Oak Hill with Cam Warren coming off the bench to lead their comeback victory against Livermore Falls. That team has really needed a leader on the offensive side of the football, and perhaps Warren pulling that one out gives them that.
Well, you've got Winthrop at Lisbon. It's hard to say that that's not the most intriguing matchup of the week, but I don't think it really is. I think the next one we're going to talk about is, but Winthrop at Lisbon, Winthrop coming off of a loss, which nobody thought they'd be coming off of a loss into this game. Where does that leave these two teams?
Well, it leaves these two teams, the winner still got a shot at number one. If you look at the Crabtree points, even with Yarmouth, they don't have that much of a gap between 2 and 3, which is Winthrop and Lisbon right now. Lisbon coming off the shutout of Trape, that was their 4th shutout of the year, so certainly defensively they have confidence that they can do what Oak Hill, what Livermore Falls, and what Jay have done, which is slow down that Winthrop Express. Winthrop certainly doesn't want to go into the playoffs with back-to-back losses and go in as a 3 seed and end up playing a team like an Oak Hill or a Maranacook that's hungry and on a roll in the first round. So obviously a huge game for both teams. I think it might be a bigger game for Winthrop.
Anything to add there, Randy?
No, it's probably a bigger game for Winthrop, like Cal says. I completely agree.
Fantastic. And the big granddaddy of them all here in Class C this week, perhaps,
I'm going to say,
for a final time, is Jay and Livermore Falls. Livermore Falls gets the home game this week, and Jay riding high after that big win. Livermore Falls, about as up and down a team as you get this season. Wow, where do we start?
I'm going to say the up and down teams in this league are what have made it fun because they can beat anybody, they can hang with anybody. Jay, I don't remember the stats from that game, but not a lot of first downs against Winthrop, but they hit a couple of big plays when they had to, and their offense has gained some confidence in recent weeks too. Jordan Kutcher running the ball pretty well, and Zach Bonavie running that offense, able to throw the ball and balance it out a little bit more. Livermore, because you know what you're going to get from Livermore Falls, the wing tee.
And you're
going to get that senior line that's physical and can score points. The problem hasn't been scoring points most of the time for Livermore Falls this year. It's with the exception of a couple of games early in the year, the defense has let up some big plays, and that's cost them. They can't do that on Friday night. And yes, the elephant in the room is this could be the last J. Livermore Falls game. Certainly next year there's a possibility there might be one more if, and again, the vote hasn't happened yet. It's not till January 25th. So.
The Andes go as far as their defense takes them. And the defense is playing well. They can beat pretty much anybody. They can score on anybody. But the defense has been giving up points in bunches, and they did it last week. And, it's a continuous problem. It's been happening all year. And if that happens against the Tigers, they may be on the outside looking in as far as playoffs.
Yeah, Livermore definitely needs to win this game. Jay's in for the first time in 3 years. They clinched that spot against Winthrop last week, but certainly the desperate team will be Livermore Falls on Friday night.
Thank you all very much. You mentioned playoffs. Next Tailgate Talk is a playoff edition here at sunjournal.com. Join us next week. For now, Randy Whitehouse, Kalle Oaks, Justin Pelletier. Have a good week.